Thank you very much. We will now open for any questions. Are there any? Most members had to leave to go to hearings, but we are really building an impressive list of co-sponsors and supporters of this bill. And you saw several members this morning, but we have more members, and I want to thank Mr. Rosen and all of you here for helping us build co-sponsorship support, because you know here in on the Hill, that's what it's about, to really show the kind of movement that a bill can have and needs to have to bring it to the floor. So we'll open now for, would you like to say something? Sure.
I really
Give us your name.
Hi, my name is Connie Kaplan. I am a 99er from New York City. And there's one really crucial element of information that I would like the public to know, especially Congress. As a 99er, I felt compelled that I should also start working on a jobs proposal, which I do with my colleagues that are here with me and some that could not make it for economic reasons. So I want people to know that I have a jobs proposal. It could be a template for the rest of the country, because it's not just about an extension. We actually have ideas about how to create jobs. And I'm going to share that with people here and you obviously. I just wanted them to know this is also proactive.
Thank you very much. And we are pleased to receive these ideas because hopefully when we come up with a job strategy, we'll have your ideas incorporated. But again, be sure you get these to the Republican leadership also.
We will.
Thank you. Okay. Sure, come forward.
My name is Rhonda Taylor, and I'm also a 99er. I look forward to speaking to the Republicans this week. I have many meetings, and I'm hoping to spread the message that take the politics out of this. This is about people, and we need to come up with solutions. So I look forward to having an open conversation with the Republicans this week that I do have meetings for, and I hope to get that message out so we can have a bridge. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think the message also is this is not a Democratic issue, it's not a Republican issue, it's not an independent issue. This is an issue that affects each and every constituent of all of us, Republicans, Democrats, and independents, and so it should be a bipartisan effort.
Well, with
did you have anything else? Does someone else want to say anything? Sure.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hi, my name is Monica Ross Williams. I am from Michigan, and as everybody knows, Michigan was leading the nation in unemployment for more than 1.5 years. We are now number 4, and that is not a great number for us. I am a long-term unemployed individual, and I believe that number 1, that we need to get income inside the hands of the long-term unemployed. Again, as the professor said, people that are long-term unemployed are going to be the first to spend that money in regenerating the economy. And second, I strongly believe we need a jobs creation program similar to an FDR type of program that was done back inside the 1930s. We got to get people jobs, and it's necessary. So I just want to make sure that I had said that. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll open now for Q&A. Give us your name and the news organization that you're with.
I'm Rachel with Talk Radio News Service, Rachel Witt. And I'm curious, you were mentioning Republicans and Democrats, and with the budget and the current crisis deficit that's in, how do you plan on pitching this to get bipartisan support behind it?
Well, first we're pitching it as an emergency designation. I mean, because it is a state of emergency. And within the context of pay-as-you-go, there are provisions in that law for emergency designation, national emergencies such as unemployment. So that's our first strategy. Secondly, of course, we all are concerned about the deficit, and we're concerned about budget cuts. This is going to cost probably $16 billion, and this is about, what, it's half or much less than what the tax cuts for the wealthy receive. There's money. It's a matter of priorities. Yesterday in the Appropriations Committee, I offered an amendment which I withdrew that would cut the defense budget back to the 2008 levels. I believe that would be, what, a $52 billion cut? From what I remember. So, you know, it's about where we find the money and what we're using our resources for, and so we're going to look at priorities, and we're going to come up with some pay-fors if in fact they don't designate this as an emergency. But that's our first strategy, designate it as an emergency.
And are you seeing bipartisan support on both sides?
Well, we're building it, but again, all of my co-sponsors right now are Democrats.
Congresswoman, I'm Arthur Delaney with the Huffington Post. Could you talk about the value of legislation like this and having events like this, even when you know there's likely no Republican support and no chance of getting an unpaid-for unemployment bill through the House?
Well, let me tell you, we're not going to just sit around for the next 2 years and do nothing. This is very important to the millions of people who are unemployed and to the 99ers. And I have a lot of hope. You know, you have to understand the realities of what we're dealing with here on the Hill, given the fact that Democrats are in the minority. But we have a president, we have the Senate, and we have, I think, many Republicans who have 99ers, the chronically unemployed who live in their district. And I think when they hear from the people who this affects, who are their constituents, you know, I have to be hopeful that there's some sense of morality there, and I think the Republicans do have that, you know, at least political understanding and instinct, and understand that regardless of whether they're Democrats or Republicans, that they have a concern for people. I mean, the bottom line, you can't just see everything in the context of the deficit. So we're hopeful, but again, understanding the practical realities of what we're dealing with. But I say all of the time that, you know, as a minority, as an African American and as a woman, you know, I've had to fight all my life, as all of us have had to, for just equal rights. And so you can't assume just because you're in the minority, you can't mount a struggle for what is right and what is fair and what is just.
And your $16 billion number, is that from the budget office?
I believe this is a congressional. It's an estimate.
It's not official.
It's not official, but this is sort of the estimate that we have put together ourselves. We're going to ask CBO for an estimate. We think it's about $16 billion.
Thank you.
Someone else had something to say. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm Lauren from the Hill. Is this the same legislation that you offered in December, or are there any changes in it?
Very similar. Very similar. For the most part, in the tax package, we just wanted the extension of unemployment compensation to include 14 additional weeks, which would cover, in essence, what we're doing here today.
Okay.
So yeah, it's basically the
And
same.
have you had any contact whatsoever with the White House? Just the other day, we found out that the president is going to apparently add some money for unemployment insurance for the states, and it's a little bit unrelated to this issue, but I'm wondering if you've had any sort of contact, any sort of dealings, any sort of indication from the White House of support on this bill, or any reaction on this bill?
No reaction yet, but we're certainly working very closely with the White House to try to bring the support and the necessary resources to this legislation. I think, well, of course, that's extremely important to have, and I know our president gets it. I know he's concerned about the long-term unemployed as well as the creation of sustainable jobs for everyone. And so that has to be part of the strategy, and so we're working with the White House to make sure.
We have time for one more question.
Okay, well, thank all of you very much. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate your coming up, and let's get to work.